Hi there, welcome to the People's Carpenter. I'm Glenn Peoples, as I've mentioned in one of the videos that was shot to explain why the channel hasn't gotten underway. Well, now it has. What is this all about? What is this channel about? Well, it's about carpentry for one thing. And there's kind of a backstory to it. So I'll tell you how the idea for this channel originally came to me. So right now it's March 2024 when I'm recording this, and right at the start of September 2023 my family and I moved into this house that we're in, which you can't see and I probably won't show you because, you know, privacy. I don't know who you are, but it's a nice early 20th century villa. It's 1910. It's got kind of an Edwardian feel to it. I guess that's the Edwardian period of architecture and furniture. And I got to thinking to myself, because I have a natural interest in woodwork. Well, I don't know if it's natural, but I have an interest in woodwork. I have another channel called Monster Guitars where I build electric guitars. And I thought to myself, you know, I would like to expand my skills into general carpentry. And because I tend to like to share the sorts of things that interest me in what I'm doing, I thought, well, maybe there's another YouTube channel in there. What would be quite cool is a YouTube channel all about me learning about traditional joinery and furniture making, as well as, I don't know, I guess just some general interest in carpentry and woodworking. Yeah, that would be fun. Why don't I go ahead and do that? So I bought some books about furniture of the period, arts and crafts, English arts and crafts, shaker furniture, that's more of an American style, but all that kind of traditional joinery, traditional wooden furniture. I would even be interested in looking at much older things like medieval pieces and perhaps trying to reproduce some of those. That could be cool as well. Lots of hand tools. I won't be a purist about it. I'm definitely still going to use my power tools because they make life easy, but learning traditional techniques would be fun. So that was phase one, and then I thought to myself, I'm sure I could do more with this, because you see, I work in IT, and I'm never really going to be passionate about that. I have sort of an academic background. I've got a bunch of degrees in various things in the humanities, and right now I'm retraining in psychology. That's an area where I think I'd like my life to go. And I thought, I'm sure I can bring these two things together, because for me, and probably for a lot of other people as well, doing things with your hands, woodwork, getting into your workshop and making things has been I don't like the phrase game changer because it's overused, but I was about to quite naturally use it, has really been a game changer in terms of your own mental health and well-being. It's really good for you to get in here and to do things and to fill your time being creative and to see results and beautiful things that you've made. And I thought there has to be a connection between well-being, mental health, and the sorts of things that interest me in my workshop. And so I'm going to just bring those two things together. I'm going to, as well as talking about my journey of learning when it comes to using tools, I'm going to be talking about my journey of learning and my passions and my interests when it comes to well-being, when it comes to human flourishing. As it turns out, I am a man, so I'm going to have a natural interest in the sorts of issues that I think men tend to deal with, issues in men's mental health, about becoming the kind of person you could be, about getting your life in order, about dealing with issues that you're facing, whether issues that are in your own mind or issues in your life. There has to be a way to talk about all of these things together in the workshop. And I think for some guys, maybe, the workshop is one place where you can actually get them to talk about stuff. Maybe that's you. Maybe it's me. Maybe this whole thing's my therapy session. We'll find out. But I really look forward to the sorts of things that I'm going to be doing in this channel. I'm being kind of vague because I'm not 100% sure of what that will look like in its totality yet, but I am looking forward to it. Here are some of the things that I'm going to be doing when it comes to woodworking and carpentry. I don't know about you, but I think I enjoy opening presents. Now, these aren't presents because I bought them, but one thing that I really enjoy watching in other YouTube channels is a good unboxing and review. So I didn't buy these all at once. That would have been a bit of a money dump all in one hit. But since I moved into this place, every now and then I've just been buying another tool with a view to doing an unboxing and review once this channel gets up and running. So look, I've got my work cut out for me. There's going to be plenty of unboxing going on. I've actually just finished recording one already, because it was a product that I used in the making of the shed. It was a pocket hole jig, and you'll see about that in the very near future. But yeah, you'll be seeing lots of this because tools are fun, and looking at new tools and opening them up and trying them out and recommending them or saying that they bomb is also fun. So that I don't wander through this channel aimlessly just thinking about what I might want to do next on the spot, I've done some thinking in advance, and I've come up with a list. Now, this isn't exhaustive. There are only 6 items on this list. But these are projects that I'm going to be working through this channel. Now, there are other items that I know I'm going to want to do at some point, but I haven't put them down here because I don't want to overwhelm us with a huge list of things to do, having to choose which one we're going to do next, and then ultimately not doing any of them or just taking longer to decide. Lists are great, actually. Maybe this is the first mental health talk. Lists are fantastic sometimes, and this is, as I talk more about my own mental health journey and about neurology and some of the things that some of us struggle with when it comes to getting through tasks. Lists like this are fantastic. They stop us from being overwhelmed by the thought of just how many things we could be doing, and each time you cross one of these off, that's a shot of dopamine in the brain, which is very satisfying. It certainly helps with your motivation levels, and once you've crossed one thing off, you'll be super charged up and motivated to do the next thing because you'll be feeling great about your achievements. Maybe. Hope I'm not overstating the case, but I think this list is a good system. If you don't have one in your workshop, I think it's a good idea. One of the things that stopped me from getting started sooner on this channel is the fact that my workshop is not in pristine order. It's still kind of untidy. But, I mean, like life generally, and this is something I've said before when talking about things like marriage or having kids, if you wait until you're completely ready to do something, you're never going to do it because you're never going to be ready for so many things. And this is one of them. No, the workshop isn't perfect. It's probably going to improve over time. I know everyone probably says that. But so, for example, that old, rather ugly looking drafting table, which I've used as an excuse to store things on, is itself going to be a project. I'm going to make a nice new top for that. That's not on the list. I just know that one day I'm going to do that. So that will disappear. There's a couple of things that were here in this workshop when I moved into the house, like an old cabinet down there that I'm going to throw away or give away or something. And of course there's lots of wood sitting around, and the more productive I am and the more projects I get through, the less of that stuff there's going to be. So I do expect that there's going to be some improvement in the order around this place, but it will take time, like most things. But like I said, it's going to be about more than just woodwork and carpentry and workshop stuff and tools and machines, as great as all of that stuff is. There's also going to be the whole mental well-being, psychology, health, that side of things to it. It's hard to say exactly how much of that will be involved. I think the ratio will probably be about 3-to-1 workshop to mental health, or maybe 4-to-1, something like that. So it's mostly going to be workshop and tools stuff. But the truth is, I think all of this is well-being stuff, really. And a lot of the time I'm going to say I'm going to make reference to men. And the reason I can do that is because I am a man and I can probably relate in some ways to men and the lives that we lead. But I think most of the things I say will be applicable to a lot of people. But men, look, for a lot of us, and this was definitely the case for me, we become, and appropriately so, absorbed and consumed by our responsibilities, especially the responsibilities that we have to the people in our lives. And so we dedicate ourselves to finding work and to working and to earning money, and possibly, and this was definitely the case for me, doing things that aren't necessarily good for us. Not that we can necessarily avoid them, but, we, depending on how you think of things, we weren't created. We didn't evolve to sit at a desk 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, working at a computer. Now, some people might enjoy that, and sometimes I did, and sometimes I do, but look, it's not, for me anyway, it wasn't ultimately very rewarding. For a long time, that sort of work that I was doing wasn't very financially rewarding either, and just for a whole range of reasons, it really left me in a place that wasn't amazing when it came to my own mental health. And, I still work at a desk, and I'll talk more about the way that I've rearranged my life. But getting into a workshop, and I really started using the tools in must have been early 2016. Getting into a workshop for me was like a light switch going on, and I didn't get into the workshop in order to have better mental health, but man, I can definitely say that it's one of the most, if not the most, therapeutically beneficial things that I have ever done. And that's one of the reasons why I think there is a natural connection between mental health and well-being and getting into a workshop. Actually making something with your hands, doing something creative and seeing the result. Well, that's a really powerful thing. It's not something that you'll see, for example, if you're just typing at a desk all day. I mean, mate, look, everyone's wired differently, and there are different types of projects that different people will find rewarding. So I don't want to say you definitely won't find that kind of reward working in another line of work. Perhaps I'll just limit myself to saying, give it a try. For me, it was absolutely life-changing, and I want to share some of that, as well as the other stuff, as well as talking directly about how you're doing. Sometimes directly about what we call mental illness, whether that's a good term or not, I don't know, but sometimes talking directly about the life of the mind and the way that it affects our behavior and our mood and our relationships and so on, because I think men need to do that. And I don't buy the stereotype that men never do this or men can't do it well, but I think men definitely need to do that, and that's something that I'm really going to encourage here. I'll stop rambling and I'll just say this has been Glenn Peoples introducing you to the People's Carpenter. The road ahead of me is not fully mapped out yet, but I'm taking that first step now anyway. I know what the next few videos are going to be about. There are going to be some tool unboxings. I'm going to be talking about some traditional techniques, and I'm just going to be doing some small projects to get us started, so that we can have a bit of a chat, you and I, and get to know each other a little better. Let's see how it goes.